Okay, y'all. Real talk. Do you ever struggle with feeling like a failure because you haven't sold a piece of your art for, I don't know, $100,000 yet? Or, okay, what about $10,000? What about $1,000? 100? Okay. When people ask you, so what are you working on? Do you feel ashamed to talk about, I don't know, your screenplay because you're still spinning your wheels on page 1 9 months after starting it? Been there. Or do you not even bother mentioning that you create at all? You don't even want to post or talk about your work in the first place because you don't feel you've got anything worth sharing? Look, if you answered yes to any of those questions, then you are in the right place because this is Art You Crazy, the podcast that helps you crush your creative goals 1 week at a time. And have we got another incredible episode lined up for you today, creatives? I'm your host, Erin Elizabeth Reed, a former attorney who left my 6-figure legal career behind way back in 2011 in order to pursue my true calling as an actor, a writer, and a director. Back with me, as ever, are the uber-talented, uber-insightful Tessie, a multi-hyphenate actor with 27 years experience in the arts and mental health spaces. And Mel Mandara, a successful marketing director who helps small creatives make money online doing what they love. Together, we are here to help you navigate the twists and turns of your own creative journey. And today, we're discussing why celebrating every little win along the way is actually crucial to achieving a larger creative goal.
Yes.
So, if you think you're not good enough or you don't deserve to be rewarded for the work you've done so far, this episode is going to prove you wrong. And before we're done, you'll also learn 5 easy ways that you can start holding that head high, celebrating your progress, and reaching your dreams faster than ever before. So let's get right into it, shall we?
Yes, let's do it. I'm ready for this one.
Okay. All right. So there's this saying in the acting world, maybe you've heard it before, and it goes like this. There's no small parts, only small actors.
What does that mean?
Well, for me, I interpret it to be like it's all up to you how you view your career progress. You know, you can see a small role as a blessing, something to celebrate, a stepping stone, in your career, or you can just dismiss it. Like, it's not worth anything. It's embarrassing. It's not worthy to speak about because it's not already the holy grail. It's not the whole enchilada. It's not the series lead. It's not that Oscar-winning supporting role that suddenly makes you a household name. So I know there are some actors who like to take issue with this phrase, and they like to argue and say, yes, there are small parts. It is a fact, and you shouldn't aim for those. You shouldn't want them. You shouldn't be happy to get them.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why?
I think that their position is more about if you're happy with the small roles, then you'll never be motivated to book larger roles. Like, if you want big results in your career, if you have high aspirations, then you need to aim higher. You need to, shoot for the moon, land among the stars, that sort of thing. What I'm talking about is recognizing that a win might sometimes come in a smaller package now and then. And it's important not to toss those wins in the dumpster and just light them on fire just because it comes in an unmarked cardboard box instead of, gift wrapped in Tiffany blue with a white satin ribbon. But I also know that celebrating the small wins can be a lot easier said than done.
This is something I definitely struggle with.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can't tell you how often that I've downplayed my own successes along the way because I didn't think they were, quote unquote, big enough. I've always held myself to very high standards, and very little that I did or achieved was good enough because it it wasn't the whole shebang. I hadn't completed the big goal that I had said that I was out there to do, so I couldn't talk about it yet. Like, if a creative goal is a mountain, like let's say, I don't know, booking my first Broadway show, that's the mountain. Okay, I'm climbing the mountain. I got my ice picks. I got my boots. I got my ropes. I got all my gear. I got my yak. I got my Sherpa, who's been there before to lead me. Exactly. And just as we like tie in for our first night up the mountain, a blizzard comes in. Sound effects, ladies and gentlemen. And ices everything over. And the Sherpa's like, we gotta head back down or we're gonna die. I'm not gonna stay on the side of the mountain and die in the cold. Oh, no.
Of course not.
I'm gonna head back down, but I'm not gonna celebrate that on my first attempt I made it to that first base camp and survived a blizzard.
Because it wasn't a tough. You didn't feel it was significant.
Exactly.
I
Like,
really struggled.
yeah. Like, I'm not exactly enthused. I'm not going to hold a press conference and talk about my incredible 300-foot climb. You know, I'm not going to send a postcard or a telegram to my family across the country letting them know I still have all 10 of my toes, you know. No frostbite, Mom, you know? Like, instead, I'm probably just going to drown my sorrows in a couple pints of ale, pull my alpaca wool hoodie blanket thingy over my face, and hide behind my yak. Hoping no one recognizes me.
Oh my god, that's a song.
Yeah, yak, Chewbacca. It's fine. It all works. Because I failed. I'm a failure, at least this time around, at that attempt.
I have so much negative self-talk. Maybe it's an eldest child syndrome where I'm so hard on myself that I struggle. I really, really struggle with celebrating the small stuff. Especially with everything that's on social media. Everyone's out here making, 6 figures, or that's what they claim. Everyone's out here living this lifestyle that if I haven't exactly reached that level, I feel like, what's the point of celebrating? I just should be holding my head down and like working until I get there, and then I could celebrate. Which in hindsight, obviously logically, it makes no sense at all.
But it's very easy to believe that that's what needs to be done. Yeah, I certainly felt that way. Tessie, have you ever felt that way?
Yeah, for a long time I did feel that way. I've been slowly shifting, celebrating more the fact that I am in the process of building myself. Because for me, like, getting to the mountain, then what? I did it. That's it. I have nothing else to strive for, or nothing else. Like, if I go to Mount Everest and then I reach the point, don't get me wrong, I would love to. Like, not really, but because I hate climbing mountains. But if I did reach the mountain, then what? There's no higher mountain than that. So, like, am I done with my life? That's it. So it's more about like shifting. For me, it has been shifting the process of self-criticizing myself for what I haven't achieved, and then enjoying the journey of living a life that I want to live, to get to the places where I want to get to, and making it a habit to celebrate everybody else and myself along the way for whichever little thing they did. If they finally did their karaoke bar show that they wanted to do, where there's 3 people in the audience and all those people are grandma, mom, and dad, I celebrate those things. I celebrate the co-star that somebody booked. I celebrate someone getting a new apartment. I celebrate, like anything. It's just everything is a celebration, because we forget so much that we're in the road of life. We're not just in the road of becoming something.
See,
yeah.
That's the opposite for me. It's very easy for me to celebrate others. It's when it comes to myself that I struggle with. Like I said, eldest child syndrome. It's so easy to focus on the middle child, your younger siblings, that you just hold your head down and you're the disciplined one. You're the one just focused on your book work because you're the eldest one. You're leading the family. So that, I don't know, it's really a real thing. It's a real thing, the eldest child syndrome, where most of us, I think, have type A personalities, and we don't really get a chance to be soft, be vulnerable, because we always had to be the one taking care of everyone else for me.
Well, that's certainly an interesting wrinkle, maybe for another episode. But it is interesting because I do happen to be an eldest child too. So, something to think about. But I love what you said, Tessie, about being like in the flow of life, celebrating the journey of it, because our life is a climb. Ideally, we're always climbing until the final avalanche takes us out. Not to get too morbid. Though there's actually a really great quote. Maybe you've heard this quote before. It comes from Sir Edmund Hillary. In 1953, he and his Tibetan climbing partner Tenzing Norgay, who I shout out here because I don't think he gets enough credit for being there too. They were the first two people to summit Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. And Sir Hillary is quoted as saying, "It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." And I just loved that because it really is about our mindset and how we're viewing our goals. And just like conquering a mountain, our creative journeys are as much about personal growth as they are about reaching any kind of external achievements. And by the way, actual achievements are fleeting. When we reach a goal, we finish a project, win an award, whatever, we get there, it's exciting, yay, and then it's over. It's done. I mean, Hillary and Norgay only spent like 15 minutes enjoying their view from the peak of the tallest mountain in the world before they started their descent.
Only 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, they spent days climbing it.
Yeah.
Because the mountain is rough. You can't stay longer. It kills you.
Oh my God.
So soak up your view while you can, because no matter how grand it is, it ain't gonna last forever. Your internal view of yourself and your creative process, how you're going about continually moving on to the next thing, the next mountain, and the next, and the next, and the next after that. And that kind of got me thinking about my mindset and how much negative self-talk I have kind of baked in. All the times I hear that little voice inside labeling whatever I just achieved as not good enough, not worth sharing with anybody. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Or then there's also the times when, like, my little voice says, you should be ashamed of your progress or embarrassed about what you just achieved. Like, all right, I'm going to tell tales out of school on myself.
Okay.
I once booked a commercial as a body double. It was for a women's razor commercial because they wanted really dark body hair on pale skin so that it would show up better for the camera.
Bush.
And I was told not to shave anything for at least 2 weeks so that the hair would also be long enough to show up on camera as well.
It was for a lawn mowing company.
It was for a loan in a French company.
Yeah, that's it.
Really French.
Yes, that makes me feel a little more.
Yak and Chewbacca.
I'm noticing a theme here in this episode that I don't like. Well, anyway, they ended up not even using me on the shoot day. So no, you won't find any footage of my body hair out there on the internet. I still got paid for the job. It was a booking on my resume for a very well-known brand. I made friends with some of the key crew members and the director, the casting director that brought me in for the role. She'd been bringing me in a few times, so I know that she was really rooting for me to book something, which, as you know, Tessie, is huge in the acting world if casting is bringing you in multiple times. Like, that alone in itself was a win.
Yeah.
But did I celebrate that? I mean, not really. I can't even remember if I even told my family about it. All I could focus on was that it was just another attempt at the mountaintop where an avalanche took me out and I landed face down, and this time half naked, in front of everybody.
Au naturel.
So not to throw so many quotes at y'all, but I ran across this other great quote just the other day from Louise Hay from her book, You Can Change Your Life, where she says, remember, you've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Maybe try approving of yourself and see what happens. And I was like, ooh, wow. Like, stab me in the heart.
Yep.
And so I started to think back. I really challenged myself if I could think of a time, any time in my life where I was even open to celebrating the smallest win. And it took me a while, but this memory popped out at me. I haven't thought about it for decades, honestly, and it brought me so much joy to remember it. So, okay, I grew up in Houston, and as a kid, once a year or so, we would drive up to Dallas to visit my uncle and his family. Now, there's 4 of us kids, ranging from, I don't know, infant to 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
So 4 kids in the car, mom, dad. And in order to keep us complacent, quiet, well-behaved, mom came up with this idea to make treat bags for us. And now, mind you, this is probably a 4-hour drive, but with 4 kids, it easily was 6+ hours in the car.
To make pauses and everything.
Oh
No,
God, this was 1800s.
Yes, this was the
Yes.
Stone Age.
this was the before the dinosaurs.
Mhm. Yes.
We had the horses.
Yeah. So
So you're in the carriage.
we're in the carriage. And mom would hand us out treat bags. So a treat bag was literally just an old paper lunch bag. And she would write each child's name on a bag and the hour that we would be in the trip. So like Aaron hour 1, Aaron hour 2, Aaron hour 3, etc. And so on for all 6 hours of the trip for all 4 kids. So that's
So
like 24 bags.
Oh, wow.
Of candy, Jesus.
It wasn't all just candy. That was a thing because she didn't want, sugar high
I'm just
kids.
Like for 4 hours, you give me crack and expect me not to do anything.
No.
Like,
No, it wasn't all just sugar. There was a piece of candy or 2 in every bag, but something small. But usually there was some kind of little game or toy that she would pick out from the dollar store. I don't know if you remember like the little number puzzles where you had to slide the things around.
or the ones with this was bringing back memories
Uh-huh.
to the Stone Age. The little one where you press it is water in it.
Oh, yes,
press
and you
it
put the circles.
The circles.
Oh, the
on it.
bubbles. Or
Yeah.
one that had like the pins and the holes and the little ball bearings that you had to like slide around.
Yes,
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 correct.
yes,
Things
yes,
like
yes.
that. Or
Those that were only available in the time of the dinosaurs.
yeah, only in the dead. They don't exist anymore. They're extinct.
Okay.
So, but I was being the oldest child, I often helped her out. And so I got to help her pick out the treats that would go in the treat bag and put them together. And even though I knew what was going in the treat bags, it was still just as satisfying to open them up when the hour came to get the next bag as a reward for making it peacefully
To the next.
through that hour of the trip. And it was also, a physical reminder of how much closer we were getting to our destination.
Oh my God, that's such a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And you have had like 4. Was the last one the biggest one? Or is it-
Typically, yeah, because by then everybody's getting antsy. So you also knew that each treat bag was going to be better than the last.
Or
This
next-
is brilliant.
Right?
amazing.
Right? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I loved treat bags, y'all. I just absolutely love them. I love them so much that they actually made me look forward to trips to Dallas in a long car ride trapped in a 1992 Chevy Astro minivan with my siblings for what felt like an eternity with precious few bathroom breaks.
Oh my God. So if you fought during the hour, you wouldn't get your treat bag.
Theoretically, yes. She would typically just delay the bags. Like you had to wait an extra 15 minutes to get your bags while your other siblings got theirs.
Ooh, your mom is good.
And she was crafty. She still is.
Gemini, right?
Yeah, she's a Gemini.
Oh my God, the Geminis are great.
I'm surrounded by Geminis in my life.
Yeah. We are so great.
Yeah, you are.
We are the most hated, but because we're only misunderstood.
I love you guys. You know, something so small like a Jolly Rancher and a finger puppet that look like Quasimodo. I mean, god awful ugly. It just, these little toys, these little rewards made such a huge impact and a difference in my experience of literally traveling to a faraway destination. So let's just unpack why these small gestures of celebration are so powerful. So it might sound strange, but there's actually been research done around the concept of celebrating your progress. Teresa Amabile and Stephen Kramer analyzed nearly 12,000 daily journal entries from professionals across various entries. And Teresa put their findings into her book, The Progress Principle. It turns out that even small wins can become very powerful motivators, helping you push forward in your work, even in the face of challenges. So when people perceive that they're making progress, even if that progress is very minor, they tend to feel more positive about their work and more positive about themselves too. And this positive perception actually leads to higher levels of engagement in the work, increased productivity, and get this, an increase in creativity as well.
Yeah.
And all of this, of course, leads us to make faster progress. And so we're making progress, which feeds our positive self-belief, which makes us more engaged, productive, creative, and so on, in a positive cycle or feedback loop.
Wow. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was stunned to read about this. There's also the added benefit to your overall sense of happiness. Amabile noted that regularly taking time to recognize the small wins and progress in your daily life contributes to an increased sense that the work you're actually doing is meaningful and fulfilling to you, which itself is really key to sustaining the work needed to reach long-term goals.
See, so now I could kind of relate.
Mm-hmm.
In the workplace, at my job, I feel most satisfied or like I'm working towards something when it's celebrated. Something about just hearing that you're doing a good job, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's small celebration. And so I'm a manager, so I do that with my team as well, because I know how it feels to be celebrated or be like having a little pat on the shoulder. So I do that for the people on my team, and I recognize that it makes them more respectful of me. One, but the process is more enjoyable working together.
Yeah. Yeah. And the point of some of this research is to be able to give that recognition and pat on the back for ourselves. Yeah. Another author, I think you know this book, maybe you do too, Tessie, I'm not sure. Atomic Habits by James Clear. He kind of doubles down on this research. And he shows that when we regularly celebrate small wins, it doesn't just boost our motivation, it also keeps your momentum up with the good habits or activities that you're doing that are helping you achieve the results that you're seeing. So when you celebrate the small victories, it's really crucial to help reduce your temptation that you're going to give up in the long term when things get hard, especially when the big results aren't immediately visible. Clear also discusses how consistently completing small tasks reinforces your belief in your own ability to achieve the larger goal down the road, and that regularly reaching small goals actually reduces stress by providing you with a sense of control and accomplishment. So, yay. But a warning, you guys, there's a dark side. Just as we can create a very positive cycle for ourselves by celebrating the small wins, the flip side is also true. So if we don't take the time to celebrate even our tiny accomplishments, we can start to feel like we're not making that progress.
And that's when you give up because you're like, this is like that's the point.
Exactly. It can even be technically false. You are making progress, but by not celebrating it and recognizing it, you start to believe that you're not. You start to create the negative cycle. It lowers your engagement. The pleasure that you take in your work starts to decrease. Your motivation to keep trying decreases, and it just snowballs these general negative, critical feelings about ourselves, our work, our purpose, which of course it's just stacking the deck against you. It's like it becomes the avalanche waiting to happen on your mountain slope.
Yeah.
So it became pretty clear to me that actually taking the time to recognize even the tiniest little baby steps of progress up your mountain on a regular basis plays a very crucial part to the likelihood of you achieving your grandest dreams and summiting all your mountains, which I don't know about you, but I think that sounds pretty damn good to me.
Yeah.
But how exactly do we do that? Okay. That's the $1 million question. And if you're someone like me or Mel who doesn't find celebrating the tiny things that easy to do or even remember to do, we have 5 simple strategies that will help you cultivate a habit of celebrating your small wins every day.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right, I'm excited to share. So, strategy number 1, keep it simple and keep it immediate. You don't have to go popping bottles of champagne and partying at the club.
Okay, see, answered my question.
Exactly. It could be just taking the time to acknowledge that you completed something you'd set out to do for the day, that you learned a new bit of information or a skill, that you overcame a small hiccup or solved a small problem.
And then celebrating, like what's the difference?
Yeah, if you're taking the time to savor the positive feelings of acknowledging that you just made some progress, it counts. And don't make yourself wait to celebrate. It should be right away. You know, give yourself that pat on the back. Give yourself a small reward like a favorite snack or a short break immediately after achieving your tiny little win. It helps the positive reinforcement actually stick better because you start to teach yourself and train your brain that the actions you just took are more enjoyable and desirable. It's like
I could bring it back to like, I guess being in the gym. It's almost like when you're in front of a mirror. I'm about to have a little ego trip right now.
Oh, okay.
And like you're curling the weights, or you moved up in weights, you're lifting heavier weights. Just the positive feedback that you get from it, even if you're not finished with the whole workout for the day, even if you're not where you want with your body goals, you're not like the strongest or the biggest or the leanest you are yet, the feeling that you get from it. So I could see how that could translate in the creative world. Aspect. So
it's like the adult version of a treat bag. Like, go ahead, do that celebratory dance, do that little wiggle in the gym, you know, whatever it is.
These my muscles and biceps, you know.
Kiss your biceps.
There you go, kiss it. What things would go in your version of a treat bag today?
A dance, a coffee.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like when we come back from our runs, like it feels so good that we get a little, you know, pastry, a little croissant, a little nice little coffee. Yeah, just to celebrate. Not even a marathon, just going for a run, just getting up and doing it.
Yeah. Hell, sometimes tying your shoes and getting out the door, that's worthy of a celebration.
I agree. Definitely. New perspective.
New perspective. All right. So strategy number 2, keep a daily progress journal. So Teresa Amabile found that people who kept a log or a journal of their daily progress had much higher levels of satisfaction and actually improved progress over time. The act of writing down your wins helps solidify the recognition of progress. It makes it more tangible, more memorable to you. And it doesn't have to be like extensive, right?
This is something I struggle with, journaling, to be honest. I kind of use an app.
Okay.
I'm the one that likes tech and apps and stuff. I use like a journal app, kind of. Like, it allows me to track my emotions. It's called How We Feel, I think.
Yeah?
It helps me to track my emotions daily, twice a day. I set it up. Just how I feel, what I can celebrate today, what happened today, who I was with, where I was. And then when I look at it from a monthly perspective or over the period of a couple months, I could see exactly, using colors and patterns, the daily habits adding up, and it gives me a wider perspective
Yeah.
of things.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool, especially, I don't know, my generation journaling, I don't know, it seems like something like your grandma does. Like, sitting down and just writing daily, a big struggle of mine. But when I saw that, I finally, like, kind of understood why people do it.
Well, even just, jotting a few notes, a few sentences, enough about what you accomplished during the day is powerful enough. Just even taking 60 seconds, 90 seconds, that's all you need. It doesn't have to be a massive journal entry. It
That
can.
makes sense to me.
It absolutely can be. Like, go as deep with it as you like, but just know that you can get powerful results just by taking a very short time to jot a few notes down
That's
somewhere.
something I want to try.
Yeah. As long as the progress you're tracking is connected to something meaningful to you, it will feel rewarding and have an impact. Yeah. Plus, kind of like you mentioned, if you've got this log of the progress that you're making, then you can periodically go back, review your entries, and see just how much accumulated progress you've made over time, which kind of gives you a little boost of accomplishment and motivation too.
I like that.
Yeah. And then here was the kicker for me, kind of like the super secret extra bonus part,
And Jeff?
is by reviewing, you actually start to see patterns.
I was later thinking that, like a mosaic almost.
You start to see patterns and insights of what is working for you and what isn't. The things, the conditions, the people, the locations, the activities that are helping you be productive. And once you can identify those, you can keep replicating those to support you. So you learn from your own positive behaviors as well as the negative ones. And you can like cut the less supportive ones out, keep the best supportive actions. And so your speed of progress starts to exponentially increase as you go along.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Right.
And it's a great way to keep yourself accountable.
Oh, yeah.
Because instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to implement this habit, you literally have a physical thing that you're seeing.
I nerded out over it, and I actually made a little daily progress diary template outline thingy to help keep track of my own daily wins. It's been helping me so much for my sense of motivation and accomplishment. If you want to check it out and use it, I'll add a link to it in the episode description so you can download a copy if you like. So moving on, tip number 3 is keep a visual record of your positive habits. So this helps you keep an eye on your consistency in doing the things that actually help you make progress. So for example, use a calendar to mark each day that you successfully complete a habit, like sitting down to write for 30 minutes that day or rehearsing a monologue for 30 minutes that day.
So I was confusing the journal with the...
Like a calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the journal, tip number 2, strategy 2, is more of a log of the progress that you've made, how you felt about it, and what was going on. Like, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And then strategy number 3 is something visual that's always up in your visual field to help you check off.
Like you've completed that thing, the habit.
A habit, like, yes, an activity that you want to replicate regularly that's helping you push toward your goal. Like if you want to write a novel, then you know you're going to need to sit down to write. So you make a habit writing daily for 30 minutes. And every day that you complete it, you get to check it off and basically create your own visual scorecard or streak.
I was confusing that, but now I understand.
Yeah. For me, the productivity planner that I just personally use has a daily habit tracker built in some of the early pages. So I just use that. Yeah, exactly. And it kind of gamifies my habits. I actually get really competitive with myself to not break a streak. But some other more analog ideas that you might try is a dry erase board, maybe a poster board. Give yourself stickers, gold stars for every day, just like elementary school, have fun.
Apps,
Apps? Yeah.
Duolingo has a streak thing, right? I see people talk about it all the time.
So strategy number 4 then is to go ahead and set very specific milestone celebrations. These are like, if strategy number 1 was celebrate the tiny things with a tiny little treat, then strategy number 4 is look at the major mile markers along the way to your other goal. They're going to be, we'll call them medium size wins. Know what they are, plot them out in advance, and decide in advance how you're going to celebrate when you reach them. So, for example, you might, if you complete the first draft of your play, you might host a small gathering to read it or enjoy some other kind of special activity, maybe a night out with your partner where you do pop that bottle of champagne or things like that.
You don't have to celebrate only on holidays, on birthdays. Celebrate actually making progress.
Yeah. They're like pit stops along the way to your end goal, and they're to help you refuel a sense of motivation and accomplishment.
I know you had mentioned earlier, Tessie, that this is something that you're good at with celebrating the journey and not just the destination. How are some ways that you celebrate?
Yeah.
I think I've becoming more self-compassionate about how I approach the career that I've chosen, which is completely sometimes uncertain in acting. So like, let's say this week I said, okay, well, this week, what are my goals? No, well, to clean up my headshots, to send them to the agents and to see how, like, my representation, how they react to them and everything. And so just that the day that I clean them up, it's already a celebration because I got to clean them up. Then when I send them the link and they say, can you pick your favorites because there are too many, and then send them back to us? And I said, yeah. So that's a celebration because they replied to me. And then a celebration of like cleaning them up and sending them back and having them telling me, put this in your platforms is another celebration because it's getting me closer to my goals.
Yeah.
It's not getting me a job. It's not getting me any roles. I don't even know if they're going to work for what they're going to apply me for, but it's already a celebration because it's like, okay, they're accepting it. They think they could work intrinsically because they'll tell me what to put up there. And that will get me more opportunities to get a job.
Yeah. You literally celebrate every step of the way.
Yeah.
Trying to. I wasn't doing it all the time, But
When did you start implementing these?
Maybe let's say that I had like a severe shift of attitude and mindset. Maybe like a year ago when I was tired of just being, in the rabbit hole of depression and self-indulgence in victimization and self-pity. So I'm like, how do I really want to feel? Is this the way that I want to live my life? Is this the way that I want to feel? And then also a little a little kicks in the butt from one of, I work with a person that works with spirituality and everything, and she told me like, just shut up, stop victimizing. You're responsible for everything you're doing in your life, so shut up and work on it. And that was a very big slap, but it hurt. But it's true. It's like you're just. It's easier to victimize because it's easier to find someone to blame for what is not working in your life than saying, how can I maybe change the chip and saying, well, I can't force anybody to give me a job as an actor, but I am responsible of making myself feel like an artist every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, I really like that.
So I like that.
Yeah. That's beautiful and powerful. I love that. I love that you're already in the flow of practicing what I am personally just learning in a more primal way.
I feel like, especially in the creative realms and everything, we kind of like it's easy to get into this mindset of competition and comparison of like what the other person is achieving, what the other person is doing, and also like, how can I get there? How can I feel the same way they're feeling? Because obviously they're crushing it and I'm not. And so it's kind of like a spiral of negativity, and it's not going to lead you anywhere.
Yeah.
I agree. It's not really a competition. Really, you're competing against your own self. Like, you're trying to be a better version of yourself each and every day.
Yeah. Just to go back to the mountain climbing metaphor, if you're got ice pick on the mountainside and you're hanging on and your head's turned to the side watching somebody else climb faster than you, like, well, of course they're going to reach the summit faster because you're looking at them, not moving anywhere. Look back at your own ice pick. Find the next toe hold. Move up, you know?
And also, like, there's a big exercise that I've been doing that whenever I feel, because sometimes I feel a little envious or jealous of someone that is like getting, faster, maybe in the road that I want to take, right? Mm-hmm. Or like when I get another rejection and another rejection and another one, I say, you know what? I'm really happy for this person. And I voice it. I'm really happy. And I check myself and say, if you're going to voice it, it's because it's genuine. It's not because you're just doing it for like whatever. And that has like helped me tremendously. I see like from the beginning of like what was envy and what was so sort of jealousy became an incredible sense of gratitude and enthusiasm for seeing other people reach their goals and like seeing them thrive for becoming their best self, and me being, celebrate them. Yeah. And also one time a person told me like, you are one of the few people that I know that makes me feel important every time I see you.
Oh, wow.
And that for me is the highest compliment.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's huge. I think it's definitely true. You definitely have that quality to see. It's amazing.
That's a win in itself.
It is. And you know what else? It just demonstrates too that you're surrounded by people in your life who are climbers and they're doing it. And if they can do it, you can too. We're all in this together, but only you can move your own body up your mountain. Personally, for me, I've started writing out in advance like a little reward that I'll treat myself to when I reach a specific milestone or goal. And the bigger that milestone is, the bigger the reward, just like the treat bag's getting better the closer I get to my goal. For example, this one's a little silly, but I loved it. I decided to put together a beach day for us, and the reward that I set out for myself when it happened was that we would all share guacamole and margaritas. Now, I didn't tell anybody about this, and the beach plans took 2 months to organize, to find a time when we were all available and our schedules worked and all of that. And I had even forgotten about the reward that I had promised myself. And then on the afternoon of the beach day, as we were packing up, we found a little Mexican food place to eat, and we all ordered margaritas and guacamole.
It's delicious.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's small, but it was significant.
What were you celebrating like that?
Just being together. Just the fact that the beach day happened. It was just a personal goal that I wanted to experience this summer. And I got to do it with y'all.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so things like that, you know, if a milestone is a little bigger, I'll and I write it out so that it's, you know, kind of contractual. I'll treat myself to a spa day or maybe a coveted pair of shoes I've been eyeing for a while. That sort of thing. Yeah. So it keeps things fun, kind of like a grab bag, surprise, mystery treat for myself. Also, side note, when I attach, this is just me, when I attach bigger purchases like that to a goal, it actually eases my urge to splurge on them right away. Like,
Now you're saving for something big.
yeah, and I know it's attached to, like, it becomes a reward, a treat. I feel way less anxiety about when am I going to have enough money saved up to buy it.
It's like you earned it.
I earned it.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me back to the final strategy number 5,
Okay.
which Tessie alluded to a minute ago. Again, totally just unplanned. Strategy number 5 is share your progress with others. Don't keep your wins to yourself. When you share your achievements with close friends or family or a community of other artists who are in your field, you get extra sense of validation and support. So, for example, if you're a writer, join a local writers group or whoever they are. Just find yourself some genuine cheerleaders, people who are truly excited for your wins, big or small. You help build a supportive network of people for yourself, but you also find additional motivation by creating more social accountability. And let me tell you, if you don't have that kind of network yet, reach out to us here at Art You Crazy. We would love to know about your progress and milestone achievements so that we can celebrate you too.
Yeah. Yeah. Share with us. We're all creatives. We're all on this creative journey.
Yeah. We want to shout you out.
And the more you cheerlead, the more people want to share with you. They will really value your opinion. They will really seek you out. Because who wants to be with a person that is bitter and has always bad things to do about you or themselves? Like,
Not
cheer
me.
them up. Like, not to be not real. Like, we can talk about the bitter things. But when somebody shares you something that it's a win for them or special, celebrate it. And then they will want to open up more to you and you'll build stronger relationships that will last a lifetime. You know, like those, it's just that way. It's like a cycle.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. And when your time comes, you'll have a community of people who are ready to celebrate you too.
Yeah.
Aww.
And easy peasy. It's not going to be forced or false.
No.
It's going to be like, oh my God, genuinely great. I was like, I knew it all along.
Good job, Sonia.
Good job. Good job, Sonia.
You cleaned up that pile of laundry.
I'm so proud of you, Sonia. You don't even
You changed your underwear. You changed your underwear.
Sonia. What episode do you have?
You burned your underwear after the 6th time you wore it. Great.
Lying.
Oh my gosh.
Congrats, Sonia. You guys will find out who's Sonia.
Yeah.
So next episode.
Just check out
the episode.
check out the previous episode.
Next episode.
No, the previous episode.
Oh, God damn.
Well, that's it for this week's episode. We really hope you go out there, embrace every little win you can today and every day so you can reach your goals faster, happier, and a whole lot more often. Whether it's keeping a progress journal, making a visual good habit tracker, treating yourself on the daily, setting milestone celebration moments, or just sharing your wins with others, setting yourself up for success can be so simple and really satisfying.
Satisfying. Au naturel.
Al natural. Also, just a note, if you'd like more info on the books and other resources that we mentioned in this episode, we'll link them for you in the episode description down below. And no, we're not sponsored by any of them. Also, if you found any one of these ideas helpful, let us know in the comments which one you're going to try. And keep us posted on your success.
Send us your wins.
We want to celebrate you.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. This is Erin.
And Tessie.
And Mel.
Signing off till next week. Stay crazy out there, y'all.
Stay crazy.